Hi everybody, welcome to our new video. Today we're going to show you how to create a relational database. I'm gonna use MySQL, but whatever operating system or database you use doesn't matter. So what we're gonna do, since we're using Kali, we're gonna go to the terminal and we try to start our Apache 2, and also we start our MySQL. After starting those services, we know that we can close this. Don't worry if you're using a different operating system. You can do what they do to how they do it in that operating system. Just this was the way we start Apache. But anyway, if you're using Windows, you can just click on your WAMP server, also XAMPP, then you start those services, you start working. So I'm gonna be using phpMyAdmin also. I'm gonna log into that localhost. phpMyAdmin. Sorry about that. You log in here. Doesn't want to work. After login, we start with creating database. But anyway, what you do before you do anything, draw your tables, how many tables you want to create in your database. Once you know how many tables, you're gonna see a lot of videos, and you see different approaches. It depends on what you need, what's your need. Somebody's gonna do it differently, but the logic is the same. So what you're gonna do, try to make sure you draw it first on your page, then you know what you want, how many tables you need, and how many columns you need in each and every table. So what you do, you can click here, create a table, a new database. We're gonna call it school DB. Can make it to be school DB underscore DB. Okay, create that. Okay, we're done. So it's asking now for the tables. We're gonna do users. I wanna name each and every table. At least we say TBL users. Okay, we know we need maybe 4 columns. We say okay. In there we're gonna say ID. That's gonna be the user ID. It should be int because I want to make it also a primary key. Check it here and make it a primary key, yes, which is fine for me for now. And I made it auto increment, and everything I leave it the way it is. Since it's auto incrementation, we don't need any length here. If you want to put, you can. Then here the user must have what they call the username. After the username should be virtual, so I'm gonna make it to be maybe at least 50. Okay, let me make it 50. You can make it less. And we go here to password, and we make it virtual also. We can make it to be 100. I'm just making it just, but we can maybe for a minimum of 30. Okay, username can be 50. It's also too long. 30. I'm gonna make it 30 also. We need something like a date. You know, date created. You know what we're gonna do? You might need a lot of columns, but you can create your table to be a little bit with a few fields, but you can come after, then you do upgrade or put more. So here we're gonna say date, we're gonna I want us to use what they call timestamp. Timestamp, if you use timestamp, we want to make it default to be current timestamp. This, you say current timestamp. This you don't have to do anything. It's gonna be doing by it's gonna do it by itself. So you save that. Okay, now we have a table ready in our thing here. It's called DB. So we're gonna create a new table in there, and that table we're gonna name it what? We can name it course or company. I can make it company, but we're gonna make it TBL company. Company. Okay. Then you make it to say ID, company ID int. That's gonna be your I wanna make it auto increment also to have a what they call ID. And come here and say okay, this company must have company what? Company name or name of company. We can say company C name. That's gonna be your company name, or we make it to be company underscore name. After that, you can take and make it virtual company. Sometimes the names are longer. You can make it 50, and then you say date created. After that, you can come back here in date created. You make it to be also timestamp. Okay, then you can make it to be default, but it depends what you want. If you want timestamp, it's gonna take date for that current date without you punching in anything. So here in the last one, we must create something, maybe company address, company underscore address. Then we're gonna say virtual. Then we can say address can be maybe also 50, and you leave the way it is. Then after that you click what they call save. So now we have two tables. So I'm gonna create a third table, which is gonna be course. In that third table we talk about course. Click here again. If you're using phpMyAdmin, TBL, which stands for table course. After when you try to create a course, you're gonna give it course ID, course underscore ID, or you can leave it like this, course ID. Sorry guys, it's fine. Then you can go here and make it primary. But remember, this course gonna belong to a company. We can get here and say company ID, which is gonna help us to trace up what's going on. So here we can say we know that this course belongs to which company. That's when we talk about the relational database. That course gonna be belonging to the company. I'm gonna say company ID ID. I don't know how did I do it, but it should be the same exact as this. We're gonna go and rectify print, leave everything the way it is. Here you can say course name, course underscore name, then you can give it virtual, maybe length you can say maybe 100, it's fine. Here we can say course name, then we say date created. We're gonna find what they call, I like to use virtual, what they call timestamp, because you really save your time. After that, remember the company how it is. We're gonna copy that and we save. All these tables are fine. Let's go to the company, TBL company. When you go to TBL company, you can see company name, date, ID. You see the ID is known the way we created it. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna have to go and change this. How do we change it? We're gonna copy and paste because it should be the same as that. You can see length also, it gives itself 11, so even there we have to make it to be 11. So we're done. So if you want to connect a table to do what they call relational database, so you need to do this field company should match with the field here you're targeting. So in here you're gonna edit again. Also you edit this company ID. Okay, 11 is fine, which is okay. Also it did it automatically, so we don't have to do anything. So we're gonna create another table called modules. So we go in those modules. There's something I need to copy here. This is gonna be what they call the ID. I'm gonna copy it because remember I'm gonna use it in another table. So we come here and say TBL modules. These are the modules which are going to be used by these students, and they say module ID, and we say int. Then we're going to make it to be a primary key here, and after that we have to say also company name. Then we say what module, course ID we say 11 because we want to connect it to this. Then we say module name, module name. You can see that, and also we give it virtual, maybe we can give it 50, and we leave it there. We come here and say date create. Each and every table I would suggest you create when that was created, so try to make things work. You can say we made the storage to be InnoDB, so the storage of this table is going to be InnoDB. So some engines like they are different, but if you leave it InnoDB, it's going to allow you to put primary keys and stuff. So this table, the user table doesn't need to be InnoDB or what, but the ones the table is going to be connected to must be inner tables, what InnoDB is. Yeah, so now that is fine. The engine is created, so we're gonna create other modules also. After creating that, we can create also a TBL student. So these are gonna be a course, they're gonna be a table for modules, also they're gonna be table for users, also company, which is like a school, that school. Then we're gonna have also a table called TBL students. So this TBL students, so this is student or students. We can say student. That we're gonna say where we're gonna store our student ID. So student ID, the student can be connected to the course, and the course is gonna be connected to modules. You understand? So we simply know that this table should be connected to what? Every student must have a course, and every course must have a module. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna get at least a course ID also here. We know that each student is gonna give a student what? A course. You get me? It's a little bit confusing here. You have to find a way how to connect. You can delete this and don't put that, because we need another table which is gonna store student ID and student course. You get me? So that, I think that it's necessary. No, it's not necessary to record here. So what we're going to do, we create a course, you create a student, you connect them, using one table to identify them. So what can identify the student and to what? That can be also the company ID. The company ID wanna know which student, this student belongs to which course. You can do that to attach that, but already if there is a course here which has this ID, we can always make a folder. But what is better for us, we can say company ID, and we know when we create a student, it belongs to which school. Okay, because it's gonna be a multi-tenant database. After that, we can come here and say gonna be, oh no, we don't have to do that. Remember that relational database, we can put 11 here, and we can do here something like this, and you really have to sit down and plan your stuff. It's gonna be student name, student underscore name, and it's gonna be virtual, and we're gonna take what they call maybe 20 to 30. So student gonna have a lot of things, but now we just wanted to deal with 3344 fields. Then here we're gonna say student surname. Okay, you can name it the way you want. I decided to do like this, or sometimes when you write in database, you go to company and say company, then you say its name, and also student also its name. When you try to write some stuff, there's nothing. Student, so there's nothing which really show you the difference. You only call names, names, which is not sometimes, which is gonna confuse you at times. Once we're done with that, you have to check your engine. It should be this if you wanna do your tables to be connected well. After that, you're gonna save, and saving that, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 tables. You remember we talked about a table which is gonna know or collect the information for student and the course. So that table is gonna be full of what they call IDs. So that is gonna be taking the course, and also the text the student ID. It can also take the company ID. It can happen like that, but we don't need to do that because the student there is going to be already connected to that company. I think that data is going to be redundant. So now what you can do, we can create another table also. That table you can think of student courses, student course. Yeah, and once we get student course, what will come? Okay, we pick up in a student course, then we can get course. Which modules are those? Okay, simple. We're gonna say student course. We're gonna say TBL student course. Or you can think about it, maybe you might make it to be student modules. Whatever module next, then you see them, but I don't think it's necessary. The course is gonna tell us which modules the person is under those whatever. But there could be some circumstances that somebody is doing a course but doesn't do all the modules, because you can find that maybe he comes to the school and he gets credited with some modules which he did maybe from a different school. But anyway, we will look into that later. So we got to know which course he is doing. Okay, now we got to say module, student module ID. This is gonna be something complicated. It's gonna be so long, I don't want it to be STD. Okay, STD course ID. I'll make it like this. We can say 11. No, why do we have to say 11? Don't have to say that, because we're gonna make it go to increment and to be indexed. Okay, once you do that is fine, then we're gonna start to say student ID, and also we say student, it's going to be the student ID, then it's going to be student course ID. Okay, what is the best way to do it? We'll do it by modules or by course, whatever gives you good brains. That's what you use. Gonna help you to trace up quickly. I wanna say student, I'm gonna say course ID. Okay, I wanna guess that course ID and ID. I think that is okay for now. I can do that, then I save. After saving, database is so tricky. Sometimes you might find like you did not do something proper. But anyway, we have to have, firstly, you look into your DB what you've done already. This we have company name, company ID, and that company ID, then we go to TBL users. You remember, let me see. Okay, somebody can log in, yes, and when he logs in, let me create one user, name and password. I'm gonna also edit this. You can see I don't like this to say just send a table ID. It's not bad, but I feel like it's a little bit confusing if you're gonna say ID. I'm gonna say user ID. Okay, then I save it. Okay, once you go to user ID, you can go to this company here and say structure. Whatever we select a username for must have a company. So it simply means when we create that user, it has to give us this user belongs to which company. You can do it that way, or this company belongs to this. This is the best way to say username. You go to users and create also a company. So you can say structure, then you add one column. We're gonna call it company ID, which we want it to be like it's gonna be something like no. We're gonna save it, and after saving it, that person, if you will create a user ID, you can have a company. So that's what we know we're gonna do. So now we also, let me try to create one user. That user can belong to a company after, and I can create a company, and the company also, yeah, I'll create a company. We're gonna come and say user insert. We wanna insert one user only. We don't have to do this here. Username, we're gonna say username is gonna be Azania, and password we can say 1 2 3 4 5 6, whatever we choose. Don't touch this. Also company ID, we can say it doesn't exist, but I'm gonna say 1. Oh, I don't put anything. So after don't put anything, save. It tells me table user incorrect integer value for column school DB users company ID. Okay. Oh, it wants us to, every time we create a user, must have ID. Okay, let's go to insert. When we insert into that, we must have a company ID. Which company are we giving to the guy? So because we put that already, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create Azania, then we create password is gonna be 1 2 3 4, then we create also ID. Even if it doesn't exist, we're gonna put it there and say save. Okay, it's fine. Now if you go to users, we have this. So now what's gonna happen is we're gonna go to something what they call structure, and we can say relationship is now we trying to create a username, a user, and a what? We're trying to create a user, a company to have to be connected to. We're trying to create a foreign key. The foreign key we have here to be connected to our user. Okay, so now here we're gonna come and select a column here. We say company ID, no, yes, company ID is gonna be select. You have to select a company database here. Select that, then it's gonna automatically give you company from company. Okay, company ID. So now what we're saying here, this is the gonna be the foreign key into from this is the primary key in company. but it's gonna be a foreign key in what? In users. So that's okay. So whenever you create a user, simply means the user must belong to a company. Okay, so here it says on cascade, restrict, or on what, on delete, and also if a user is deleted here, and also in the company, the company is gonna be deleted. If the company is deleted this side, it simply means all users also gonna be what? Deleted. If the ID is edited, also the ID is gonna be edited this side. If the ID is edited here, it's gonna be edited that side. So save. If it works, if it didn't work, you see table users add foreign key what foreign company what on git what update. Okay, 142 cannot be updated to a child row. Foreign key constraint fails. Why does it fail? Because there's no foreign key, there's no already company ID there. So what we are supposed to do, we're not supposed to put anything there in that. Okay, or we're supposed to create one that side. Okay, that's fine. We can do that also. To start doing that, we do, these are one of the problems you're gonna face when you're creating what relation databases. So now here you're gonna have to insert something here. You go and say insert and put one thing at least here. ID, don't put anything, it's gonna create itself. If you put one that side. Company name, you can say access X. Okay, date created, don't do anything, it's gonna do by that. Address, you're gonna say 15 Rose Road. Okay. Okay, once you create that, say go, it has been created. So it simply means you can see there's ID1. If we go here, it's gonna be ID1. So let's create our stuff successfully. Go to structure, and then you go to relationships. Then remember to select your company ID and also database name, this one, and also table is gonna be this one. Then it's gonna select automatically. So once we say cascade, simply means when whatever changes I do here on this ID is gonna change. If I delete it, it's gonna go. If I whatever associate itself with this, it's gonna change. That's what I'm trying to do. Save that, and it's gonna save 100%. You can see it has saved 100%. Let's test what we're trying to do. So what we're trying to do here, we're gonna create another. We're gonna go to company here, and we change. Okay, look, it's not going to give you a chance to change the company ID in the foreign table. If I try to do 2 and I save, it won't, because it will say what add update or child. We cannot do that because this is the child table, it's not the parent table. So in that instance you can't do that. The only way to do any changes here, you can do changes here. So on company here, that's when I'm still having this problem because of okay, here copy, edit. Okay, I don't want to, I'm not supposed to change this, that's why it's giving me this. Oh, sorry. Okay, it went back to its default, so it didn't want to give us a chance. Still giving us that issue, but it's gonna be fine very soon. Okay, it's not changed. company. Okay, if you want to change the ID, you change here, don't change that side. So in case I delete here, it's gonna be deleted that side. For instance, let's try to log out here and go back and say localhost okay, phpMyAdmin. So when you hear, I think that code should be gone. We click on this and we go to company. This is the primary ID, so we can change here. Before we do that, let's click here. You can see that the company ID is 1 here. When we go to company, also is 1. So if you do any changes, they're gonna make that side to be changed. If I do save, you're gonna see that if I go to users, the ID changes automatically. You can see each and every time I do. So I'm gonna put it back to 1 and save here, and I go back, it's gonna be 1. Yeah, this is a very big topic, guys, but I'm gonna do one table to show you how really this work. We done by doing the first one, whereby we're making a primary table and a secondary table. So this gonna go to courses. Remember, we have our course. Okay, I'm gonna insert some stuff into the course table, and the course table needs the ID. We're gonna give it ID1 here, because that's the company we have. We know that this course belongs to that company. So here, course name, we're gonna say computer science. After computer science, we save because the timestamp is okay also. So after doing that, remember we have modules. So these modules, we're gonna give each and every module to a course. So we come here and we insert this module. We said we do course ID, we're gonna put 1 because there's already course, and module name, we're gonna say Java. Okay, timestamp, don't do anything. So here we're gonna also give this course ID to that course. There's one course there, programming. Then we're gonna say this course, we're gonna give it to a database which called a name which is called database MySQL. Okay, that's a kind of a module we need to do. And then when you say go, simply means we saved. When we go to our modules, we can see we have 1, 2, 1 course ID 1, 1. So they all belong to one course, these ones. So if I go and create another course here, I can create another course, but I haven't made these modules to connect. Let me connect them to the relationship. Let me give them relationships. You click there and click no. You click there and click. You click there on the. You click on the table, which is gonna be the child table. Then you go to structure. Then you click on relationship. After clicking on relationships, you select your what is gonna be module ID. No, course ID is the one that's gonna be the column, and also database. You're gonna select our database. Then table, you're gonna say from which table. It's gonna be from course. Remember, we clicked on module, then it's gonna give you this ID by default. Then you save this. So simply means we created now a relationship between the course and this. So whatever changes here is gonna change here. So if you delete a module here, it's gonna be deleted this side. We're gonna create another module here, and we try to delete it. You're gonna see what's gonna happen. So that's what they call a relation database. So we gonna have this here. We look into structure. Now we look into insert, and we put company ID. We only have one ID, which is 1, and we say course. We're gonna say course name. We can name it whatever I want. Can name it maybe this name. This time the course is gonna be tourism. No, I'll give it another course. Maybe we can say which course is more popular. Engineering. Engineering, that's fine. I wonder if I got it right. Yeah, that could be fine. So you don't touch this date. The dates are created by default. Now we see we have 2 courses. Did I create a course or create? What did I create? You see? Yes, I created another course. So this course is also under the same company, same school, but now it has to have it has what they call one. What do we call this? It has, you see, this is the one ID, second ID, so it means different courses under one company or one school. So engineering, we're gonna give it modules. You remember it's sitting on ID2. So since it's on ID2, here it's gonna have its modules. So we're gonna insert the modules. Now we know there's modules for engineering. Course ID is gonna be 2. Can even give you engineering courses 2. You can select. If you don't want, you're gonna just type in whatever. So now it helps you and give you that. So now here, module name, you're gonna put mathematics. Then you create another module for that engineering course. Give it a name which gonna be, what else do they do in that engineering course? You're gonna say communication, and we save that. After saving that, let's see the modules we have. You see we have 4 modules. Each belongs to different course. No, 2 of them, they belong to one course and 2 belong to one case. So since these are connected, now it's the same way you're gonna do on the student. I'm only gonna do queries, and I see to select from both tables. Okay, so I'm gonna go and say, you can see this, there's 1, but here there are 4 entries. Okay, this is the mother table. So we can go to SQL and say select from course where from course. Okay, let me see. But also you can select from another table. You can select what they call you can select like this. Okay, you can select that dot we want to select the course name, then we can also select course, what do you want to select? Course ID, course, it's going to be TBL, course ID. Okay, also you're gonna select also in another table. Now we're selecting two tables in one query. We're gonna select in modules, whereby you're gonna say TBL modules. Okay, dot, what are we selecting? We're gonna select the module name. Okay, there. Okay, and we say from course, then we're gonna use what they call the inner join. Now we join to another table. It's gonna be TBL modules. Okay, where now we're gonna say on what? On, this simply means we're gonna select on course on TBL modules dot module, where we're gonna say module what? Course ID equals to TBL module. It's gonna be TBL course dot course ID. So we're joining two tables here to select in one table. We select where there is the ID which matches to another ID in another table. So once we get that query right, then we're gonna manipulate it. You can see it got for us Java. It selected modules Java, and also it goes for us database MySQL, also to get maths and communications. So now that's how we do that. So now we're gonna do what? We're gonna select do the same query, but now we're gonna specify and say where course ID. We're gonna say course ID modules TBL course BL modules dot course ID, okay, equals to 1. We want to select all the modules where course ID equals to 1. Okay, so we copy that, and you can see it selected for us all the course modules which are under the ID 1. You get me? All the modules under the ID 1. So guys, this is the way it works. That's how you create your relation database. You can also go to the second table and create a relationship, like a student should belong to a course. You get me? So each student must have a course, and each course has what? Modules. So you can come from here without even assigning modules to a student, then you know which modules this guy is doing. So do the same trick and do that right, guys. For now, I think that's the end of our tutorial. If you did not get anything or understand, please do give us something like a comment in the comment box below. We're gonna do a couple of tutorials on databases. So this is one of our longest database tutorial on relation databases. So I would advise you to go search for other tutorials from other different people. You can see how they do things, but before you start your database, you must draw it on the paper and you know what you want to achieve. So that's what we've managed to do, but you can find somebody else who does things differently or whom you might understand. I hope you understood me, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.